Throw the slack, you fucking moron!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Screen Share, a movie podcast about Matthew McConaughey auditioning to be the Joker. I'm Calder.
I'm Adam.
And you are...
Hilary.
My lover.
Dude, you put me on blast for, like, introducing Olivia poorly in the Cats episode. That was rough. We have a special guest today.
Listeners
Thank
can go
you.
back and listen to the Olivia episode and see I did it better. My guest today is my fiance, soon-to-be wife. Whoa.
Yeah, as of the release of this episode, you guys will be getting married in, like, 3 days?
Yeah.
4 days, maybe?
Wednesday,
think 4
Thursday,
days.
Friday, Saturday, 4 days.
Yeah. So it's actually kind of great. So this episode's the wedding planner. It's kind of great because we're doing this episode about
me.
wedding planning right before the wedding.
With
And
my
then
little
all the
wedding
other
planner.
episodes. Oh yeah, I guess this is important information to know. Like, we are recording this episode since you guys have so much like wedding stuff going on. We couldn't really get together to record all the episodes in one batch like we usually do. This episode is being recorded before the wedding over Discord, and the rest will be recorded probably also over Discord. We'll see, but like
At least the next
so
one
it's kind
will
of
as
fun.
well.
Yeah.
And then we'll see from there.
So it's I think it's kind of fun that this is the movie we're doing before, and then we'll do the other 3 after.
Very.
And the theme for this month, as we've done monthly themes, even if it's just Adam picks dog trash for a month. The theme for this month is wedding movies.
Yeah.
So we've got The Wedding Planner, which was a me pick. We've got
Yeah.
Wedding Crashers, which is such an Adam pick.
I've only seen it once, and it was when you showed it to me. But
When I begged you to watch it with me.
Yeah.
We've got Marry Me, another Jennifer Lopez classic, but much more recent. And another Owen Wilson movie. And
which was accidental. And then the last one's The Princess Bride, which is
Such a good
my
one.
other pick.
I think
What
that's
was the one-
probably the best one of the month.
I
but-
suggested one you should have done, the other JLo one. Did I say
Monster-in-Law?
Oh, Monster
no.
was such a good one, but so is Made in Manhattan.
Is that a wedding movie, though?
Oh,
I mean,
Made
it's
in
a love
Manhattan.
one.
I think that might be J-Lo's, like, biggest movie. Because
Yeah?
it made, like,
Monster-in-Law.
$150 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Ralph Fiennes
mean,
is her romantic interest.
Oh, interesting.
Voldemort.
Oh, I totally
Tom
forgot
Riddle.
about that. Wow.
Interesting. Yeah, I think when I
That's
chose...
like me being
so-
Hilary's romantic interest.
Kind of.
Because I don't have a nose.
When we were picking our movies, you immediately gravitated to 2 J-Lo movies.
Interesting.
And so then I was like, I guess we kind of have to do Wedding Crashers. Like, I feel like we kind of have to. And then I was like, I want to pick one that isn't like... Because I guess Wedding Crashers is more of just a comedy. It's kind of a
Yeah.
rom-com. But then the other 2 are like straight up rom-coms.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to pick something outside of that. So Princess Bride, I guess, is the...
It's a
is
class.
the-
You had to pick it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's
the other
another
options are
movie
like...
I've only seen one time.
The other options are like
So...
The Godfather, and I'm like, I'm not into like seeing that many
That's not
Italians.
very, like,
I'm good with
wedding-y.
J-Lo playing an Italian, but not real Italians playing an
What?
Italian. She's Italian in The Wedding Planner.
I know, but how does The Godfather have to do with a wedding month?
Because there's like a wedding in
Yeah,
The
but-
Godfather.
But
is
that's like
not how I would
when I
see it.
looked up wedding movies, there were most of them were like there's a wedding in this movie, and I'm like that's not a
Weird.
wedding movie.
Yeah, that is.
And I feel like The Godfather's kind of like that, where it's like there's a wedding in it, you know. But
It's also a horse
anyway.
movie because there's a horse head in it.
Okay.
I mean, I got a weird energy today. Huh?
Maybe next month we'll do horse movies.
That would actually be good. That'd be good.
Yeah, we got to do Spirit. We got to do War Horse.
Spirit Untamed.
August gives me more horse
Seabiscuit.
vibes than July.
August is more horse
true.
vibes than July. When's the Kentucky Derby?
No idea. I think it passed.
No, that's July.
Hillary also gave me the idea to do, maybe we...
Great idea.
Okay.
Vampire month.
Yeah.
And it gives
Oh,
me November
interesting.
vibes.
Well, it's not actually not
October's too obvious. November. It's a November month. Hardcore.
It's actually not a vampire month, though. She said we should just do the Twilight movies. So it's just a Twilight month. Twilight November.
We should do the first Twilight movie and the last one, none of the middle ones, and then vampires suck, and then what's another vampire movie?
Abraham Lincoln
Dracula.
Vampire
what's that really
Killer.
bad one about the vampire's assistant or something? Is that what
The
it's called?
vampire. Oh, Renfield, the new one.
Yeah,
No,
I was gonna say the
a
new
very old one.
Nick Cage one.
Old one about a vampire's assistant. There's also What We Do in the Shadows, which would be a
so
good one.
good.
Oh yeah,
We'll
We
talk
should probably
about
get
that
back on
because
topic, huh?
November is the most soul-sucking month of the year.
yeah.
Hey, my mom's birthday's in November.
November's the most soul-sucking month.
There's
of
not
the
a good
year.
thing about November. The only holiday in
There's
November is Remembrance Day, and you don't get the day off.
Wow. Okay. Can
And
we
you
get
just
back to
stand
weddings?
there for 11 minutes.
Okay.
Actually,
that's enough.
we'll jump back into the wedding planner after this question. Calder, what do you think the best month is?
Ooh.
I think maybe June. Because it's starting summer.
Nice.
But also, you get out of school in June. But also, there's like a fair
Yeah.
amount of long weekends. You get some time off. And you're leading into Canada Day. And you're coming out of Victoria Day. So it's got the best lead in. It's got the best lead out. And I think it's just overall pretty good.
I like that answer. I feel like I'm not allowed to say June is one of my favorite months because it's my birthday's then, so it feels boring. But like truly, I feel like it's July, but it's less hot. Still nice, but less
Yeah.
hot. And you get like the tail end of school, which is like a very like exciting
That's more fun.
experience.
And Hillary's
Yeah.
playing her game, so we should get back on topic. So the wedding planner. Why did I pick this movie? Well, number one, I liked Marry Me when I watched it.
Okay.
I think J-Lo's pretty good. I went through a bit of a J-Lo thing in terms of
When?
like when Adam and I were living together.
Probably between when he was like 6 years old and 25.
I was.
years
Oh,
old.
I thought you meant like a crush on her. Sorry. Continue.
No, it was like I watched At a Sight and I was like, oh wow, she's good. And then I watched Hustlers, or like this is like all mixed up, but like I watched Hustlers, Out of Sight, and Marry Me within like a pretty close range, and I was like, oh wow, she's really good in these. And then I looked up her other movies and I was like, these all look kind of like Dog. And then I didn't watch any
Yeah.
of them. But I'd seen Made in Manhattan before. And I'd probably seen a couple of the other ones, but like there was no real impression left on me. I was like, oh, she's a Made in Manhattan.
Yeah.
That title tells me all I need to know. And Ralph Fiennes
Yeah.
is not as hot as Matthew McConaughey. We'll say that. Anyway,
I've got some things to say about Matthew McConaughey in this movie, but we'll get to that.
we will. So then I was like, what was J-Lo's sort of first rom-com? Because she got a little caught in the rom-com system for a while.
What's the one where she has another one where she gets knocked up by a guy, or she
The
she really
Proposal?
wants to get pregnant, but she can't find a guy, so she does it on
In
her
vitro
own,
or
and then
whatever?
she finds a guy, and then he's like, I didn't sign up to have a baby, and then he like ends up wanting the kids.
Is it Proposal? The Proposal?
I have no idea.
Isn't that one with Sandra Bullock? Isn't Sandra Bullock the proposal?
Oh,
Yeah, it's not The Proposal.
hold
It's
on, I
another
wrote
one.
down a couple of her
I'll look it
movies.
up. You continue talking because that's
Geely?
a great.
With Ben Affleck?
What is it?
Is it Ben Affleck?
I don't think
Geely?
so. No, it's not. Okay,
That was an
continue
absolute
talking. I'll
flop.
look it up.
Anyway, so she does Out of Sight. She does a couple other
Yeah.
movies, but she clearly wants to do more things that are like more thrillery. But the only movies that are really successful that she's in, like monetarily, critically, they're all kind of like mixed, but monetarily, like, are these rom-coms, which she's like good in, but not great in. And they're also just not great movies because it's like, I don't know, the rom-coms, it's not like really the rom-com age anymore. That kind of ended in the 90s, if that makes sense. Because like Julia Roberts is kind of like getting out of it. She's doing other stuff and like all that stuff. Anyway, so I was just interested in seeing like what kind of happened. So I decided let's go to her first one with a wedding, which is The Wedding Planner, or at least where it's like a first rom-com.
What year did it come out?
Yeah.
2001.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
When did this one come out?
So the one I
Oh,
was
the
thinking about was the
backup plan?
backup plan from 2010, and it's actually really. I think it's really fun.
Oh, that's
I've heard the backup.
It's got the
plan,
guy
yeah.
from Hawaii Five-O. I
His
think.
name's Alex O'Loughlin.
Yeah,
O'Loughlin?
the brown-haired guy from Hawaii Five-O.
Okay.
Not, I think Daniel Day Kim is the guy that I like.
The
on
main
Hawaii
guy?
Five-0. I think it's the main guy. It's not the blonde guy though.
Yeah.
You know how there's the two
blonde guy
main
who's in Ocean's 11. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the two white guys, and it's the brown-haired white guy, and then there's the more
Okay,
interesting people in the cast.
I think he's the main guy,
yeah.
supposedly.
I used
'Cause
to
it's
watch
got to be
Hawaii
a brown-haired
Five-0 all
white
the
guy
time.
as the main guy.
Well, and
What
he's
do you
gotta
think
be
of
hot.
Matthew McConaughey blonde hair?
He
We
looks
didn't
like
like it.
Okay,
I thought he looked like he was balding. His hair looks so thin.
It looks
and it's
so
01,
bad.
like he should be prime. And it's
Well,
just
I got some stuff on this 01 Matthew McConaughey, honestly,
interesting.
but we'll do this
Okay.
later.
Yeah, I was let down by the hair. It did not look good.
I said a couple times that he
Yeah.
seemed like an absolute psychopath in the movie with the way
Because he's got like this like smarmy charm, which like works in some roles, but in this one it just like, especially like, it started off with him like saving J-Lo from the rolling dumpster, which was
Of course,
ridiculous.
because here's the thing. Another thing with that I really liked is that it really hits on the fact that like women do love shoes and they'll kill themselves for a pair of Gucci.
my
Guccis.
Gucci shoes.
My Gu-
Or no, she said, my new Gucci shoe. My new Gucci shoe. Good line.
Yeah, it's like the part in what's the one with Gabrielle Union where she's like, oh, 10 things I hate about you, where it's like
10 things I hate, yeah.
my Prada bag or my
So good.
Skechers, and oh, you don't have a Prada bag. It's like literally the exact
Yeah,
same
yeah.
kind of thing as that, where it's like
It's that, but like not done as a bit.
it's like a producer.
Like, it's-
the male producer was like, she likes her shoes. Make her say something about the shoes. It's funny. The guys will like that because that's what women.
It's
do.
funny because she gets her high heel stuck in the grate, and then she's more worried about the shoe than her own life, and that's like kind of just like a woman in New York. That's just kind of
Well,
like,
she lives in San Francisco, but
okay. I didn't really pay attention to like
There
where
are
they
so
were.
many shots of the Golden
Yeah.
Gate Bridge.
literally every
That's probably when I was writing notes. I probably took the transition.
literally every time that they showed outside, it was San Francisco.
Boom.
Sorry, never
Two
been.
questions. Hillary, let's say you make, because it seems like she makes about $500,000 a year with how they talked about her salary.
Well, because, when she's like talking to her boss, she's like, I make like the most money in the company times 5.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, so she's making
Well,
a
no,
clean
I think she
million?
was saying that she brings in more money. Like she makes more money for the company.
But she works
than
on
the
commission.
other employees.
And she
Oh
said,
well, then there you go.
she was going to give ginger curly hair. I forget what the actress's name is. I was thinking about it the
Oh
entire
yeah,
thing.
and then she's like, "I'll give you commission for this wedding." She's like,
That's
"That's
more
more
than
than I make in a
year."
year."
So, like, leave the shoe, my man.
yeah,
You'll be
you
fine.
can buy
Hillary,
another
if you
shoe.
stepped in a sewer grate with your new Gucci's, would you let
with your new Gucci shoe,
would you let a garbage thing roll over you? Dumpster? That's what it's called.
Okay, I'm gonna be really honest, but like you. Excuse me. Sorry, I have a ginger.
She almost threw up.
I'm trying not to burn.
it's okay.
I would try really hard to save it but also like even if you did get it out, you know it's gonna be scuffed and ruined.
Yeah.
And there go like $2,000 shoes. So I don't.
That's the other thing is like, why was it so hard to get it out of the sewer grate? It's not like it was hooked on something. It was a straight heel. Like I feel like
Also-
she should have just been able to pull it out.
She's a grown woman in a profession that like wears heels. You know not to step on a grate.
But-
like even if you're not, you don't look at the
Yeah.
like you just develop this sixth sense of like walking where you don't have to look at the ground to know that like, oh, in like 2 feet I need to like dodge holes in the ground.
It
You
also
just, like,
wasn't
do it.
like
How
a
does she not-
subway grate either. It was
like a manhole
the
type?
hole in
I
a
don't know.
manhole cover. So she has to have quite incredible accuracy to fit it,
Yeah.
get it in there.
Yeah, she couldn't do that again if she tried.
Like my dog
And maybe that's
once
why it was so
accidentally
stuck.
stepped in a grate, and he is now 11 years later takes the widest arc around them because you learn the lesson once when you're quite young. You never make it again.
Yeah.
How is she making this
Yeah.
mistake?
That's true. Women are like dogs.
She's also like
That's just in.
crossing the road, like not at a crosswalk, and also crossing diagonally, like while also on
Sorry
the
about
phone. And that was a nice.
Sorry, I just
That
wanted to
came
get
out
a
of
little
Calder's
closer.
ass.
You wish.
But like, I don't know. Anyway, we can move on from the new Gucci shoe. But
That was-
So I'm gonna look up Gucci shoes. Like, do they even make any like really nice Gucci shoes? Like, I don't even think
That's
so.
so true.
So true.
You know, don't switch.
You okay?
Okay, I think we're good. There's a bit of an audio pop-up. Made me want to poop my pants. I think it's...
Oh, that's why.
Which AirPod died?
I can go get mine.
Okay, can you go get yours?
Do you want me to pause
Adam,
up?
should I stop
I'm
the
gonna pause up.
recording?
Yeah.
Let's get more into like the movie and less about
Well, we were going to talk a little Gucci shoe and then get into the
No,
movie.
Right,
it's
right,
fine. It's fine.
Ready? 3.
Gucci does make some really...
No, it's okay. It's okay. And we're diving in.
Gucci does make some really cute shoes. That's all I'll say.
And the
Okay,
price,
nice.
I looked while we were on our little pause there. Sorry for the
Yeah.
technical difficulties. I looked over $1,200. So maybe you
That's-
don't want to leave that in a super great.
I mean, still, but if she's making like, well, I guess I get it.
But also, San Francisco, high homelessness rate. Maybe give that to someone in need.
Okay.
Maybe give that singular Gucci shoe to someone in need.
So the wedding planner, what were your kind of takeaways from the movie, you two? I'll go first.
Okay.
Because you guys obviously don't have answers. I was
I
kind of
have-
impressed with the directing of the movie.
Interesting.
And then I thought
Okay.
a lot of the story beats were kind of like lame and didn't really make any sense. And then I thought a lot of the acting was also kind of bad. But I liked some of the like camera work, I guess.
Olivia said something during the movie that I feel like sums up kind of my thoughts, which is that the movie has like a lot of fun concepts and like scene ideas and like goofy antics, but like it doesn't execute any of them like in a actual fun way, really.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like the music doesn't really match the scenes very well, so it just feels like we're kind of like dependent on the actors to like give us what we need from the scene, but we don't really get that. Like Matthew McConaughey's kind of like, at least in my opinion, kind of unlikable basically the entire time. And I think J-Lo's fine, but like I just feel like I'm not really getting anything from any of the scenes, but each time a new scene starts, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like, this is a fun idea.
This is a good idea. Yeah.
And then it kind of just like, they basically do like the absolute base level of what that idea of a scene could be and don't explore it any further. And then the scene just ends. Like, I feel like so many scenes just kind of end. And I'm like, oh, I guess that was that.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think the writing and the acting's pretty poor.
Yeah, I get to kind of go off of that. I agree. It feels like a lot of baseline scenes, and it also feels like we're throwing in a lot of good elements that aren't going anywhere, and
or are poorly done.
or just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like really small things too, like not plot holes, but like she's Italian. We also have like Alex from Grey's Anatomy coming in with
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
horrible accent.
It's one of the worst accents I've heard in a
It's
movie.
so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And he plays this just stereotypical. Is that even a stereotype? I don't know.
No,
This like
he plays it like he's the good doctor. Have you seen that show? I am a surgeon.
little bit.
But he's he's like trying to do an Italian accent, but he can't do an Italian accent.
You know what his character reminded me of? You know in Kimmy, the like guy over Zoom that
Oh,
Zoe Kravitz
yeah.
talks to? He kind of reminded me of him if that guy was like
Hit his head.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of like, I don't know, were there any other elements that you thought were just like stupid? Like I think the entire Massimo thing makes literally no sense.
Yeah, I feel like Massimo was just thrown in there so that it's like there's a fake out before like the two protagonists actually get together.
well, yeah, that's the
But then
wild
it just makes me
thing.
feel bad for him.
Yeah, that's the wild thing is like it like in other movies they don't even give him someone in the cast that we know that he would be more compatible with. He just like doesn't
Yeah.
find anybody and he's sad, but he's happy for the girl he loves. Whereas like another rom-com would be like, hey, you are actually really well suited for the sidekick, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
maybe
like
you
I
guys
thought
will
that
have
he was gonna
something.
somehow end up with her like
The assistant, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, they're both kind of like like very eccentric characters, so maybe they'll like match each other's energy.
Yeah, he's just kind of left in the dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, Massimo's a real, like, and also, like, him ending up with the assistant is, like, a cliche, but also that's kind of what you want, I think, if
In
you're
a
watching.
rom-com.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the thing. You're making a rom-com.
Yeah.
You're kind of supposed to give me everything that I want on a silver platter with a little bit of conflict thrown in there. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Also, the Matthew McConaughey's fiance's parents, like his potential in-laws.
Yeah.
The characters and the elements they're throwing in with the parents,
That they're
like
drunks.
the mom being like a wino and the dad being like maybe a misogynist, being like wedding woman, hello, right? It's like
Yeah.
what we just get little
What is this supposed
sprinkles
to be?
of it, but it
And
never.
like when they were horseback riding and singing, and they were singing like off pitch, and neither of them knew the words, I literally turned to Olivia and I was like, "Are they like trying to play this? Is this like funny? Are they trying to play this as a joke?"
And maybe that
Like, what
played
is-
in 2001 before
Because we
9/11,
don't
but
understand who they
post
are.
9/11 that doesn't play.
we don't know why
Well, yeah.
we're saying they're like that because they're just like uber rich. Like that doesn't make any
What
sense.
do they even make their money doing?
Yeah.
See,
Thumbtacks?
they say that really on in the movie. They're like, oh, like her family just did this. Like they came into so much money, but like I never slow it down enough to be like, what is it actually that they made their money on? Like I don't know. Like I think it's something to do with like food or the food industry.
Maybe
Yeah.
it might be,
I
but
don't
like
know.
I have no clue. And they don't act like they're new money,
They
Like-
act old money, yeah.
but they also don't act old money because
Well, they act-
she's weird. The mom's
Yeah.
weird.
Well, so mom
it
married
seems
into
to
dad's
me like
generational
they like
wealth.
sold their shares of a company or something. Like they were rich before, but now they fully sold out, so now they're like really rich.
So
Olivia's bringing me some food real quick. Thank you.
What are you
so
eating?
much.
what are you munching on?
Yo, that looks good.
Is that the
girl.
stuff from
Delicioso.
I don't like the way I said that.
that place? that place?
No, but she did eat the leftovers from the rabid fox.
Nice. Let's
And then we put the remainder in the garbage and it stunk, so I had to take it out. Anyway,
I wanna
what
talk
was
a
gonna
little
say
bit
real
about-
quick
oh,
is, sorry, I have one thing on the parents. This is maybe the only time I'll ever use Transformers as like a positive
What?
comparison, but like in the
Sam
Transformers movies, Shia LaBeouf, Sam Witwicky, his parents are like annoying, but like they're annoying for comedy. And I feel like in that movie, it kind of works because it gives you time to like get to know them and you see their relationship with Sam Witwicky. So then it's like, oh, these are the kind of parents they are. They're like annoying, kind of overbearing, but like also you know that it's all coming from a love for their son. So then when they are annoying, you're like, well, that's them. In this movie, it's just like they're annoying immediately and like all the time. And we don't see their relationship to anyone except each other. So
and it's
kind
not
of
even like funny.
no. It's like, well, that's the thing. The horseback riding thing, like I was getting angry watching. I was like, because they did this whole bit where they were singing out of tune and like forgetting the words. And like they did it for so long, and I was like, this isn't funny. And then it ended, and I was like, thank goodness. And then they had like a quick story beat with Matthew McConaughey and J-Lo.
Who's all of a sudden a
And
cowboy.
then they did it again. Yeah, all of it. Well, yeah, she's like having a hard time riding the horse, and then he's like a freaking like
He's like John
outlaw
Wayne.
Western, yeah. But like they did the annoying parents bit, did a quick story beat, and then did the annoying parents singing bit again. And I was like, is this really like that good of a bit? And it's not. So
The thing that kind of got me on the good camera work thing, I think the opening part,
Yeah, we literally rewatched the opening scene because Calder was
the
like,
opening wedding part, because I don't know if you
I do like
noticed,
the opening wedding scene.
They do a lot of like the chaos stuff at weddings in a single take. Like even later on,
Yeah.
they're like going through it, and she's like, you're like seeing her do her work. And I thought that was pretty good. And in general, this director, Adam Shankman, I don't know if you looked him up at all, has some real bangers.
he does, yeah. Yeah, The Last Walk. What is it? The Last
A Walk to Remember.
A Walk to.
Oh, nice.
So he did A Walk to Remember.
Masterpiece.
He also did Rock of Ages with Thomas Cruise. Bedtime Stories, which is actually legitimately
So
good, and we'll do it on the
fun.
podcast one day.
So fun.
Hairspray.
Also, I don't mean to be that guy. I think I just heard a little USB disconnect sound from your end. Just want to make sure it's still recording.
That was not us. That was you.
No.
Okay, then okay.
Is yours
Cool.
still
Sorry,
recording?
I just completely derailed that. I apologize.
The
Continue with movie
Pacifier.
news.
You know Vin.
The Pacifier?
The Pacifier.
Also, I do really like bedtime stories.
Love that movie.
He also did Oh wait, this is producer.
Ooh.
Sorry, director. He did Disenchanted. Also, What Men Want.
Ooh, I'm not liking these anymore. He's a better producer.
He directed an
Maybe less
episode
of
of
it, yeah.
Modern Family.
He's a better producer.
Zac Efron's Pool Party.
Cheaper by the dozen too.
Cheaper by the Dozen 2 is legitimately good though. It is legitimately good.
No, but A Walk to Remember is the
That's
best
not the
movie
one with
ever.
Zach Braff, is it?
Which one? Cheaper
Cheaper by the
2?
Dozen 2.
That's the one where
Or
they're
no,
at
Cheaper by the Dozen reboot. That was a reboot.
Oh yeah, that's the reboot. Cheaper by the Dozen 2 has
Gene Levy.
Eugene Levy. But this was his first like big movie.
Wow,
His
yeah.
IMDb also has a movie called Cosmo's Tale, but there's no plot detail and no
Interesting.
poster.
From 98.
And it stars Ronnie William and Wendy Callow. So
I mean, if you
don't-
made a movie before 1999, I don't really care about you, you know?
That's actually true. And then he makes this one in 2001. Comes out in January, but then we all know what else happens in 2001. And so this movie is a little dated. There's a couple things that
Yeah.
you're kind of like, what's going on here? Number one, making a dude who's not naturally blonde. That's a mistake almost every time, especially when he's like kind of charming, but in like his first movie role, he was kind of like trying to have sex with high school girls when he was 25.
What?
That's what he does in Dazed and Confused, Wooderson.
Never seen it.
You know what I love about high school girls?
Ooh.
Yikes.
I keep getting older and they stay the same
That's
age.
what that's from.
I mean,
Yeah.
even though that's
Wow.
obviously so much like worse, I also think he's like not great in this movie.
Oh, he's like a psychopath. He's like literally looks like a serial killer
A bad guy.
sometimes.
like, not to like skip ahead too much, but like a really bold move to have the person you're in love with be like, yeah, I haven't been in a relationship in so long because my fiance cheated on me during the rehearsal for my wedding. So like fiance's cheating is like a big problem for me.
Or
And then
is
him
it?
being like, interesting. Well, I'm going to confess my love real quick. Also, conveniently, while you're drunk.
But with his eyes
luckily
as
she was
wide open as possible. Did you notice that he's
Yeah.
looking at her like he's the Joker?
Yeah. I think it was just noticeable because usually his eyes are like 2/3 closed, but
That could
Like
be it.
yours.
And she's playing her game again. I also had another question I'd like to just throw out to the table.
I need stimulation, okay?
I like to
I
throw out
get it.
another question. Since when are like American Italian families doing arranged marriages?
No.
yeah.
Oh, you're talking about her. I thought you were talking about her parents, and I was like,
Well, her parents also had an arranged marriage, but
Yeah.
like Italians, I don't think that's like an Italian thing. I think it's like a thing sometimes, but like Catholic Italians having an arranged marriage?
You can't really expect the creators of a movie where J-Lo is playing an Italian to actually really understand anything.
It's kind of like how Dominic Toretto's Brazilian, I think,
Interesting.
which is like, okay.
I mean, as you've said on previous pods, Vin Diesel can kind of play any
He
race.
can play the pacifier.
it's a genius. It's a gem of the century. Whatever.
What is?
The pacifier.
Okay.
But like, I don't get why she had to be Italian.
Nice.
Like, why did it have to be written in as we could have picked.
Also, an Italian, you're going to pick an Italian in San Francisco? Like,
just-
you could make her, like, literally from anywhere else. I don't know if
You could literally
San
make her
Francisco
born
Italians
and
is
raised
the
in
thing.
San Francisco.
also, yeah. Well, I think she was, but I don't know. It's just like when they were like us Italians, and you're looking at J-Lo, you're like, what the fuck's going on? She's from like the Bronx.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the bits that was the most disappointing for me was the broken penis bit.
Dude, right?
There was so much I
Because-
feel like they could have done there. I feel like it could have been a lot funnier.
Olivia and I were talking about how much we were like not liking the movie, and then the statue's penis fell off, and we were like, that's funny. That's a good bit. That's the first like truly good bit they've had in this movie. And then it just went on for so long, and they killed it.
Yeah.
Calder also really smartly pointed out that it fell over like a house of cards.
It's a limestone, like it's a
and then they
limestone
picked
statue.
it up. They picked it up like a water bottle. They
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah,
"Yoop."
I could tell that was like hollow plastic or like hollow
That was like
styrofoam.
paper mache.
Well, even when they did close-up shots of the broken off dick and balls, like I was like, that doesn't look like real stone,
No.
like at all.
And then they're like, oh, it's a limestone. So you're not like, oh, they're lifting a marble statue. But even then, Matthew McConaughey and 5'2" Jennifer Lopez are going to lift a 500-pound limestone statue off its side
And also,
and knock it
one,
over.
how did he glue his hand to it?
Yeah, were
His
they
hand
like
was
in
on the
such a rush where they're like,
opposite side.
That's so true. I never thought of that.
But
they're
then
in such a rush. They're
also-
like, we got to put the glue on the shaft. That's the one that connects.
Well, that's the thing. Even if he like covered his hand so much and they put so much glue on it that it like oozed out and like got glue on his hand, it would have been on like the tips of his fingers and like near his wrist
His
because of
whole
where his
hand.
hand
And then
was.
we-
I think
But then when
gluing
she's
cup.
taking it off, she's like putting, I don't know what they use, like rubbing alcohol or
yeah,
something.
whatever to
Yeah.
get rid of crazy.
But like
glue.
whatever she used, like she was using it like in the center of his hand. The center of his hand was like on the shaft, which was not the part broken off. You know? Like I feel like
Oh no.
none of the things that they tried to do, they actually like thought through at all. So it just makes every aspect of the movie kind of feel like I'm wanting more, but not more of what they're giving me. Just more
you want
more
someone
of anything else.
because I also looked up the screenwriters. I forget what their names were. I think it's like a couple or at least a like pair of screenwriters. This is their one credit, and then they have one more credit 9 years later of a movie I've never
Wow.
heard of.
Okay,
And this is
so
the
it didn't
director's
go
first
very well.
movie. And this is like, I think it's just like, we don't really have the people at this point who are like talented enough to, like, I'm not trying to disparage anyone, but like,
But this movie was a lot of people's
you're not,
first
this
movie.
isn't Nancy Myers. We're not looking at a Nancy Myers movie.
I
We're
don't
not
even
looking
know
at
what
an
that
LA movie. Like, something's got to give. You ever seen that one? Parent Trap with the Lohan.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh,
I haven't either.
you're gonna be hanged.
Yeah, don't tell our friends.
Or like, it's not like Sleepless in Seattle. It's not like one of these classic movies where you've got like an auteur rom-com
Sure.
person behind it. And it also
Yeah.
has some of these strange like lines and like I guess jokes in it. There was one quote that's about like that's very long
no.
that I wrote down where I was like, why is this even in here? So at
Okay.
the end, she's like going back to the wedding agency and she's confronted by, I guess, a man that works there. She walks in and he says, how would you word an invitation where both sets of parents are paying for the wedding? The groom is in the military about to receive a medical degree, and the bride is a young widow whose father had a sex change operation and now goes by the name Sugar Ray DeSantos.
Now I can actually comment on this.
Okay.
Interesting.
Because, like, when you break it down, okay, when you hear it on screen, you're like, "Brr, what?" But when you say it slow like that, it's like, oh, I get how that would be confusing on how to write the invitation.
Okay. But then J-Lo goes, what? And he goes, what's wrong?
Yeah.
It's not like she's
Yeah.
like
Oh, dude,
she like gives him the perfect idea.
I'm starting to freak out about this movie.
Oh, no.
Tweaking.
So that just like is another example of what I felt throughout the movie, which was just that like there's and I lost it and it's gone. Wow. I was so passionate and then it just exited my brain.
So
I was
because
gone.
for the wedding
I'll
invitation
try to
thing,
figure it out.
You know,
Okay.
he's about to receive a medical degree. So technically he's doctor, but you can't call him doctor yet, right? So what do you put on the
Interesting.
invitation? And on the invitation, what are you going to tell everybody that Sugar Daddy Ray is paying for this? That's kind of creepy.
What is that usually on the invitation? Like
Yeah,
Bill
Daddy
to
Ray?
we just
Bill
didn't do that because
to?
we had 6 parents. No, not Bill to, but you go like Sarah Smith and Wayne Smith
and Nico
along
Nicholson.
with XXXX invite you to the wedding of their children, right? Like
And that's for a porno one. You said XXXX.
Yeah, but only
gotta wrap this up.
XXX would be a porno. If that was 4
Sorry,
X's. Also, I remember what I was
sorry,
going to say. I
sorry.
remember what I was
Let
going
him
to say.
talk, let him
I
talk,
remember
let
what I
him
was going to say. So the thing of like the guy being like asking her that convoluted question about wedding invitations and then her being like, "Sorry, what did you say?" and him being like, "What's wrong?" and just completely forgetting. That's like it's something that I think I've talked about before, but like that I hate in movies is just when characters don't do the obvious thing, which like the obvious thing for him to do there is to ask the question again. Maybe simplify it, pal, but like just like or just say like, well, I'll send you an email about it. I don't know. But like it's just a thing of like instead of doing the thing that makes sense for the character, they do the thing that makes sense for the movie. And like the big part in which that happened in this movie
Is literally the entire
when-
plot.
well, the entire plot, but like specifically when Massimo shows up and is like, "Oh yeah, we're engaged." And like all of a sudden there's drama because like she got on Matthew McConaughey for being engaged, but now he thinks that she's engaged been engaged the whole time, but she hasn't been. And like she just doesn't say
address
that
it.
she's not
Yes,
engaged to
I also have an
Massimo.
issue with this. Yes.
Yeah,
But,
because like is she
she
trying
had-
to get Matthew jealous?
Well, she doesn't wait until she's only talking to Matthew to be like, no, I'm not. What about, were you not going to address all these other people?
Or you could just
she
say
doesn't
like
even have to
Massimo,
like get
leave me
defensive.
alone.
She can literally just be like, "Hey, just to clarify, absolutely," because at that point she doesn't want to marry Massimo at all. So like she doesn't even have to get defensive about it. She can literally just be like, "That is literally not true. We're not even dating. Like we're not engaged."
My dad's
Yeah.
trying to make me marry him.
Yeah, it's like such an easy fix, but she spends the whole movie, or not the whole movie, that whole scene having other people talk, and then like her, like, I guess trying to get a word in but failing, but like, no, just say it.
And
Like,
then at the end
she
of the
just
movie,
goes,
and then at the end of the movie, it's literally like everyone's just kind of like, okay, we'll do what needs to be done for us to finish it. Where the parents are like, no, we're
yeah.
calling it off.
Yeah.
Also, are her
I
dad
remember,
and Bert lovers?
No, I think they're just best friends.
I think
You
they're
couldn't
lovers.
get off this.
I don't think they're
That could be
lovers.
like us.
But
when our lovers die. There's also a point where J-Lo says, while she's dancing with Matthew McConaughey, there's also a point where J-Lo says, "Oh, so you're gay," when he says something.
oh, dude,
She does.
I literally paused it. Olivia was like not in the room when that line happened, and I had to pause it and tell her. Because she's like, "Where'd you learn to dance?" He goes, "Ballroom class." And then
yeah.
she goes, "Oh, you're gay." And then he goes, "Oh, the gayest." And then she goes, "Oh." And then he goes, "No, not actually." And I'm like, what a, like, the joke, I guess, in that is literally just like, can you imagine if he was gay?
Yeah.
Which is just like, I guess, very of the
Well, not a
time.
guy
There's
like
a lot
Matthew
of jokes.
McConaughey. A guy like that couldn't be.
There's a lot of jokes in this movie that are very of the time because they also like made a joke where people were congratulating Matthew McConaughey and Massimo for getting married when they were riding the moped and they like passed through the bikes and they were like, "Congratulations," and it was played off like they
That
think they're
is
gay.
psychotic. They just allow a moped into a bike race, and then everyone
Yeah.
on the bike race is like, "Oh, cool, yeah, I love that." You know what happens when you allow a motorized vehicle into a bike race? What the hell?
Everyone starts
now?
pelting
What's
rocks.
that's happening now? People die.
Yeah.
That's actually not true.
And
maybe it
also another thing that's telling of the time. There was there was an R word drop in this movie as well.
Oh yeah. I think we're gonna.
Which is just like.
I think next week is gonna be, if we do this.
Oh, next week's gonna be
again,
rough.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions.
And we did make the deal that Hilary will be on that episode if we have a Wedding Crashers. So everyone, our wedding address is
No.
So let's talk about Matthew McConaughey for a little bit before wrapping up, because I think I just want to get your opinions on him.
Sure.
So you think about what he's been in. He's Wooderson. I gave you the famous Wooderson line from Dazed and Confused. And then he's kind of in a bunch of weird stuff where he's working with good directors, but it's not like their best movies. He's in Contact with Zemeckis. He's in Amistad with Spielberg. He's in another Linklater movie. He's in a Grisham movie directed by Joel Schumacher. And then he's also in Ed TV, which is directed by Ron Howard. And all of these movies are kind of like not the one. Like they all, they're like all right. But no one's like Amistad's the best Spielberg or Contact's the best Zemeckis.
They're not the best, but they are alt-right.
There we go. You say alt-right? Okay. Just making sure. I like to know that you try to get a dog whistle in every episode.
No.
But then he's in Ed TV directed by Ron Howard, which comes out like 8 months after The Truman Show. So everyone's kind of like, that's the same movie. I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
So that one absolutely bombs. And then he's in this movie. This movie does pretty well.
Wait, then it's this movie?
Pretty much.
Interesting.
So then this movie does pretty well. But like, then he's kind of doing rom-coms for a while. Like the Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. Let me just pull up his list here. So he's got The Wedding Planner. Then he's in like a bunch, like an assortment of things. He tries to do some action movies.
Okay, but then he's in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which is
exactly
a staple girl movie.
But that's his next big one,
so
basically.
good.
So then he's kind of becoming the rom-com guy. He's in Sahara, which doesn't really work. Then he's in Failure to Launch, which is also a pretty big movie.
It almost sounds like he was trying to get out of rom-coms and then just like was like, I gotta do one more rom-com. I just gotta get a hit.
But like
then it worked.
But here's the thing. Now we're in 2009. He's got a part in Tropic Thunder, but he's not really in Tropic Thunder. And then he's got Ghosts of Girlfriends Past in 2009. And let's do a quick lookup of the box office here. Makes $102 million on $37 million, which is like a smash hit.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of like, what does this guy got to do to like actually become a star? Because he's a movie star, but he's not
the answer is
Matthew
Dallas
McConaughey.
Buyers Club.
Well,
no,
exactly.
before that, I mean, Mud.
True.
He's pretty good in Mud. That's true. You like Mud?
Mud landed him some other big role, didn't it?
Dallas Buyers Club, probably.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
He's in Magic Mike also as Big Dick Rick.
Yeah, but
But like 2013 is where he kind of like,
takes off.
which is what, 20 years into his career?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He sort of like becomes Matthew McConaughey because that's Dallas Buyers Club. He wins an Oscar for that. And it's also Wolf of Wall Street, which is probably his most iconic role. If you had to like ask a person like, what's the Matthew McConaughey, you know, it's like they know the chest
Well,
pumping
I was going to say,
thing.
if you just do the chest, like who did the chest beat thing, they're like, oh, all right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. And then he's in Interstellar, and then he's kind
So
of like
good.
True. I've
Oh,
never seen
actually-
Interstellar. We gotta do that.
You have to do
Interstellar
a
is really
space
good.
month.
A space month would actually be really
I
good.
have great
That'd be awesome.
month ideas.
He's in Interstellar and True Detective the same year. True Detective's also incredible. And then he's just kind of like
Now he's just been doing his Lincoln commercials.
a little bit gone again. Lincoln commercials,
And he's
The
got
Dark
his alcohol now,
Tower,
too.
a bunch of movies that just kind of don't work.
Every celebrity's got their alcohol.
Yeah, but he was first.
He was.
I had no idea.
He's like he's in Kubo and the Two Strings. Apparently, he's in Sing.
Why is he in Sing? Who is he in Sing?
Spoiler alert.
What? What's the spoiler? That he's in Sing?
I just shoved a bunch of pasta in my mouth. I can't answer.
Spoiler
I hate that.
That's you. So, like, it's just kind of weird, this guy, because everyone knows Matthew McConaughey, and even before, like, you would know Matthew McConaughey. But now he's, like, a movie star, but he's also not a movie star, because, like, he's not really in anything good anymore.
I feel like he's one of the actors that's, like, he's got some, like, really iconic roles. Everybody knows him. He's a household name, but he's not, like...
In everything.
He's not one of the actors that's, like, doing a lot all the time.
Yeah. He's also, I think, playing Elvis Presley in a show called Agent Elvis.
What?
Interesting.
Which is a sitcom created by Priscilla Presley, John Eddy, and Mike Arnold for Netflix.
Oh, boy.
Which is already out, allegedly. So, yeah. Matthew McConaughey is a weird guy. I think J-Lo... to kind of tie the bow on the 2 stars, J-Lo's coming back with a vengeance after Hustlers, where she should have got an Oscar nomination and maybe won, because that was like the Renee Zellweger year, where it's like, what the fuck is so? Get her out of here, please. And then she does Marry Me, and then she does like Shotgun Wedding and Mother, I think, is the other movie, but like both did pretty well on their respective streaming services, and she's got a sci-fi movie coming out, and she's back with Ben, which is big.
And she did the Super Bowl commercial.
And she did the Super Bowl
commercial show, is what I meant to say. Yeah, I feel like Matthew McConaughey, I feel like I guess just like when I see him in like interviews and stuff, I like him, but I haven't really seen him in a role yet. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of his movies, but like in most like movie roles I see him in, I'm not like gravitated towards his character. At least in this movie especially, it just like, because he has a specific cadence to him that is like Matthew McConaughey, and I think it just doesn't really work for this movie. Maybe it would work in another rom-com. Maybe I should watch another Matthew McConaughey rom-com. But like in this one specifically, his cadence kind of just like comes across as creepy and weird and like kind of problematic, when I feel like it should probably work. Like, I feel like another actor probably could have done this role better. That being said, I don't think it would have saved the movie, because I think everything else about the movie's dog shit.
I feel like, have you ever seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
No.
He's perfect for that role. The whole premise,
Oh, yeah.
the whole premise of the movie is like him and, what's her name?
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson are totally different. And they're both like, they both have bets to get the other person to like dump them if they get into a relationship together. But unbeknownst
like,
to the two of them.
Is she city and he's country kind of thing?
Kind of, yeah. He's like a very sports guy for a sports magazine, and she writes for like a women's magazine. And so his whole thing is perfect for that, because that's the whole point, is they're opposites.
Classic rom-com profession.
But I
both writing
agree
for a
with you that like
magazine.
he doesn't really fit this. It's
I feel like his cadence doesn't fit it, but I also feel like, to give him a little bit of credit, the script doesn't really serve his character very well. Because the script is kind of like constantly putting him in situations where like he has an opportunity to not be a weird, creepy guy, but decides to anyway. But they like put this fun music behind it to make it seem charming. It's like, no, this is a little weird, man.
we didn't learn a single thing about him the whole movie.
Yeah, I have no clue,
Like,
honestly,
who
like
is he?
anything about him.
Yeah, when he was like at the door talking to drunk J-Lo and was like, I don't know a thing about you. I don't know who your parents are. I don't know where your dad came from. He didn't ask
But I
that.
know the
He
curves
just
of your face.
Yeah, but when he was saying that, I was like, I don't know anything about you, my guy. It was just like very strange. So like Matthew McConaughey's fine. I feel like this movie just doesn't serve him very well. As far as J-Lo goes, I think she's like one of the more like multi-talented people in Hollywood. Like she can act well. She can obviously like, she has like a booming music career. Maybe not booming actively. I don't know when the last time.
Yeah, I
she
don't really
released
know
something
much
was.
about her music these days. I mean, she did do a couple songs for "Marry Me," which we'll hear, which are like I actually kind of like.
sick and cool.
Let's
But like,
get into some
I just feel like
questions.
she's very talented. It's just
She
like
is.
this movie is very mid.
It's also like very early on in her career too.
Yeah.
Could a mute person do a better Italian accent than Justin Chambers? And then I also wrote,
Amen.
did he get his tongue cut in half and burnt?
Nice.
He's like literally.
Cauterize the wound.
You're telling me, brother. Sorry, that was my Matthew. My Matthew slipped out.
That's pretty bad.
Nice.
You don't have to answer that, but I think the answer is yes.
Oh, can I just say one more thing about Matthew McConaughey's character that makes him
Of
a bad
course.
guy? So he very clearly, for almost the entire movie, wants to not get married to his fiance, but instead get with J-Lo. Like the whole movie. Mm-hmm. But like, it's clearly stated that would be a bad guy thing to do. Mm. So then like, he goes to his fiance and like is basically like, hey, I'm going to put all of the pressure and onus on you to make this decision.
Yeah.
Classic.
For
Yeah.
you to break this off so that I can go get with this girl.
Yeah, he's
And it just feels like very gross.
Yes,
Like I get what they
yes.
were going for, which was probably like he needed her to break it off so that it wasn't him breaking up. Like he needed her to like
That's so
realize
true.
that she didn't love him.
Yeah.
But
I
like
hate
at the
that.
same time,
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you point that
It's-
out, and I hate it.
it's like it gave me a massive ick big time
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like he is basically being like, I want to like run off with this girl I just met, even though I've been with you for like 8 years. And like, regardless of whether their love has fizzled out or not, like, not fair at all to be like, well, she's the one that initially said she didn't want to. Anyway, it's just like, that felt very weird.
One more question, and then we'll get into the rank and the Adam Driver of it all. Do you
Sure.
think I could play Steve Emerson?
Yeah, probably better.
Do I throw a little accent in there? Hey, ladies, how you doing? Hilary didn't like that very much.
No,
I think I just icked her.
Didn't like it.
Where
You
are
icked
we?
me. Ew.
What do you think Adam Driver could do?
I
in
feel
this
like Adam
movie?
Driver would genuinely play a much. I mean, he loves playing Italians.
Hold on.
That's what I
So,
thought.
Are
like,
we talking Adam Driver right now or Adam Driver 2001?
Right now. In
It's kind of up to
2001, he
you.
looked like a
We-
little rat baby.
He did. It's true.
Yeah.
He glued up. Oh.
He glued up, everybody.
glued up.
He stuck the pieces together.
Yeah, he glued his hand to a cock and glued up.
Oh, interesting.
Well, because of the crazy glue on the stack.
Yeah, we got it, we got it.
that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah.
So yes. Yes.
Um,
he could do
I don't
better.
know.
Yes.
Maybe Massimo, but like I honestly, no. I'm gonna just say Matthew McConaughey's role. I feel like he could probably bring. I feel like Adam Driver in the Matthew McConaughey role would make him like. It would focus more on his like confusion and kind of being like, I don't know what's going on in my head right now. Like I feel like stuck in the middle of this thing right now. Like I feel like he just would have played it off more like innocent bewilderment
Yeah.
rather than like, because Matthew McConaughey feels like very in control the whole time,
But then
while
he's also trying to
doing
be
kind of like
stupid.
smarmy shit. Yeah, so it's like, so I'd say I'd cast Adam Driver in the Steve role.
I put him as Massimo or the dad. I think either of those could have been funny. Which one would you like
I
to
knew
see
you'd
Adam
put him as
Driver
the
play?
dad.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Hilary does like not Matthew McConaughey, Adam Driver.
I'm a big Driver baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know if
I
we
think
like that.
hey, you're in good company. I think we all are.
And let's talk about rank a little bit here. Where would you put this, Hilary? I'd like to kind of hear where you'd put this on the list. How many of these movies have you seen? Most of them. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Also, while Hillary's thinking of where she'd put it, I have one last thing to say about J-Lo.
Okay.
Maybe the worst drunk acting I've ever
Oh
seen.
yeah, it was
yes.
absolutely
Calder and
horrible.
Agreed,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
Yeah, it
you
was horrendous.
can't
Yeah.
play
Can you
drunk.
go back, please?
Sorry, you can't play drunk fully saying your words properly and then just kind of stumbling around.
Okay, I have my verdict.
You lose the voice before you lose the balance.
It literally made me think of like a high school theater kid trying to act drunk, having never acted drunk in their life. Anyway, Hilary, where would you like to put this?
Whoa.
24.
Drum roll.
24. So that's
After
24.
the Batman, before Weird the Al Yankovic story.
interesting.
Interesting.
Adam, how do you feel about that?
I mean, that's around the area I'd put it.
I agree with it being worse than 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
I don't agree with where that movie is, but
10
yes,
Things I Hate
I
About You.
agree. It is
Right,
still,
I also think it should be a
despite
little
where
higher.
it is below 10 Things I Hate About You. I agree.
Yeah.
Um,
Calder,
I
where
think
would you
that's-
put it?
I
Because I
think
know where
that's-
I'd put it.
like maybe just below Weird. Like it's better than
Just below
that
Weird?
awkward moment, I think.
So here's the
Actually, I
thing.
would probably
You know
watch. Actually, I might put it below that awkward moment because
Dude.
I would watch that awkward moment again.
You know how much I hate that awkward moment. I was just thinking the whole time. I was like, I'd rather watch that awkward moment. At least it's got like.
Hilary, what do you think?
At least it's got some like jokes in there where it's like so stupid it's funny. And like there's a little bit of heart in that movie. In this movie, I just feel like everything is just like so shallow. And just kind of bland, TBH.
Hilary, do you have a debate for us?
No, I trust you guys. You know what you're
Okay.
talking about. I don't have much to add.
It's
I know
certainly
my
not
place.
worse
Have you
than
seen that
Hardcore
awkward moment?
Henry's 65
okay.
Space Jammer Cats.
Yes.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not better than any of those.
Yeah.
That's in its
Or
own
sorry, it's
tier.
not worse than it.
Those bottom four are in their own tier. This is definitely in a tier with like 10 Things I Hate About You to that awkward moment. So
Here's the thing: we're probably gonna do another Matthew McConaughey movie down the line. He'll get an up, and we're doing another J-Lo movie this month. I'm
and
betting
that
it won't
one's
be this low.
good.
So
Wait,
know,
you say it
they'll
will or
have
won't
other
be
chances.
this low?
It won't be this low. I
Good.
have high hopes for that one. So are you good to put Marry
Yes,
or
sir.
sorry, not Marry Me, The Wedding Planner at 26 under that awkward moment?
All right.
Go off.
Hilary, I'm sorry that you came on an episode that was kind of not a great movie.
No, that's okay. I like the movie. It's fun. It's good.
Well, let's
All
hope
right,
someone crashes
good,
the wedding.
Good.
Nope.
I hope not.
And that again, the address is.
Nope.
Put in a bleep there so it sounds like I said
123 White House Road.
Interesting.
it. Okay.
They're getting married at the White House. Obama's
we
officiating.
came, we laughed. We watched a movie and we talked
I
about
meant
it.
Biden. but-
And now
Yep, we
we're
did.
left questioning: did Matthew McConaughey kill someone as this character? Did this character commit a mass murder? Thanks for listening
It's
to
funny
Screen
because
Share.
most of these episodes end with like you being like, "Can we wrap this up, please?" You're talking about Matthew McConaughey murdering a guy.
Well, he gave
Anyway.
me big Joker vibes. Anyway,
He really didn't like.
Okay.
welcome to
Funny in
Screen
this one.
Share, a movie podcast about Matthew McConaughey being a murderer. Thank you
Yeah.
for listening. Hit like and subscribe.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Give us a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And
Donate to our.
Wedding fund.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
And again, if you need an invitation, just email.
Don't email. Here's the issue. We do have like an email pinned to our profile, so please do not email that email.
Oh, I
asking
wanted you to
for
put a beep there. Anyway,
Oh,
podcast
okay.
is over.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay.
Sign
Bye.
off. Do your
Wait,
do
no,
your
wait.
classic
We
sign
should
off.
say, "Hey, Hilary, thanks for being a guest on this episode of the
Oh,
pod."
thank you. No, thanks for having me on.
Do
I'm
your
sorry I
classic
didn't have
sign
much
off.
to contribute. Can you not talk over me?
No,
Thank
I
you.
feel like you did, especially like the stuff about like actual like the wedding invitation thing, because like
Well, that's here,
I don't know
Here. Final
anything.
take before we close. It's called
Yeah.
The Wedding Planner. They didn't plan much
That's
of a
true.
wedding.
That's true.
Come on. Anyways.
Yeah, she just
Hey,
kind
have
of
a
yelled
great
at
night.
people at the
Get
end
home
of that
safe,
one.
kids. And hey, the sun will rise tomorrow.
That's your classic sign off. Let's go.
the sun will rise tomorrow. Incredible.